All right, how's everyone doing tonight? All right. I'm Mercer Patterson. You may know me from the thing we just played. So, as we normally do, I'm going to talk to Arun here and ask him a little bit about the thing we just played and more about him. And let's start off with telling us who you are and what this piece is.
Sure. My name is Arun Ramarthy. This song is called Walk as One, and a little bit about myself. Basically, I grew up in New Jersey. I'm born and raised in New Jersey, and moved to Brooklyn about 12 years ago. And I studied South Indian classical Carnatic music from the beginning, or maybe when I was around 8 years old. I also studied Western classical music, which I thought was very, very helpful for me. I played both, together for maybe about 8 or 9 years. I played in orchestras and a lot of different Western classical contexts, at the same time playing Carnatic music. And they both were kind of separate worlds until my 20s. And I had separate paths. I thought of them differently. They didn't really merge until my early 20s, when I started to meet more musicians. My own brother is a guitarist and a drummer, and there was a desire to collaborate together. So I started to see Carnatic music in a different way. I started to think about different things, realized the music that I used to grow up listening to, like hip hop and rock and jazz and all these other styles of music that were inside of me, I wanted to start to try to express myself. So that was a big part of my growth as a musician, was coming to New York in the last 10 years, meeting musicians like the collective Brooklyn Raga Massive, and we started that 7 years ago, and it was about the same desire to make the music we have connect with the world that we grew up in. So that was a big part of it. This song is also inspired by a lot of different things. It's based in a raga. In Carnatic music, we call it Chakravakam. In North Indian classical Hindustani music, it's called Ahir Bhairav. But I was also influenced by Arabic maqam. There's maqams, which are modes that are very, similar in some ways, and we're realizing there's so many more commonalities than we thought between ragas and maqams. And so it was inspired by a musician named Amir El Safar, who's a wonderful trumpet, santur, and singer. And so I was listening to a lot of his music and kind of inspired by it.
All right, so how do you feel about kids playing your music, and did we live up to your expectations?
That was fantastic. What do you guys think? Yes. Okay. I was absolutely thrilled by the way that came out, and I thought, everybody, the solos and things like that, I think there's a lot of expression. People, y'all were going for it. I thought it really was a nice performance, and I love meeting musicians and students and teaching them. For me, it's, if I had exposure to some of this music when I was 16 or whatever in high school, it would have influenced me a lot. So I think it's very important to do things, and I really enjoy it.
All right, final question. What are some things that you're listening to, like now?
Good question. Actually, lately I've been listening to a lot of traditional Carnatic music, and that you may be like, oh, duh. But I actually don't always listen to traditional music, and I've gone through phases where I have not listened to it and have listened to a lot of other stuff. So I'm right now in the moment of kind of back to my roots. But I've been listening to a lot of kind of like big band stuff, actually. Charles Mingus has this album, Cumbia and Jazz Fusion, and it is wild, and it's like you feel like you're in the jungle and you hear all these different sounds, and I'm kind of inspired by all the different kinds of sounds we can make, let alone, music is nothing but sound, right? So there's so many different ways that you can make sound and how they all interact and work together, how they make you feel like you're seeing things or smelling things like that. So that's what I've been listening to.
I think that's all the questions.